Okay, we are live. We live. I'm gonna see if I can get some people on. It's 2:30 Central Standard Time here, the South Time Central Standard in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Us in the middle. That means that it's like 11:30 on West Coast, and you know I'm not too familiar with East Coast time. I ain't lived over there yet, but I'm gonna see if I can get a couple people on before I hop into the message. I titled the topic for today accountability and representation, because that's something that God has been speaking to me about lately, and it first started out with being triggered. And so last week God was talking to me about triggers too, and so I'm like, okay, you know, maybe this is something that I could share with my community, share with my soul tribe. And so I tagged some ladies. Okay, if you come across this and you're a male, a man, you understand, then still tag your girlfriends, tag your friend girls, tag your mother, your sister, your auntie, you know what I'm saying, your great cousin, or your cousin that's a girl, that's a woman. Tag. Share this with the ladies in your life. Because I feel like it's very important. It's a very important message. And on top of that, I relaunched the self-love newsletter. Instead of it being a weekly newsletter, it's now going to be a monthly newsletter. And so I relaunched it. It went out on Sunday. And this is some of the tidbits from that newsletter. So I've been allowing my triggers to do what they're supposed to do, which is to heal and to bring forth our highest self, right? It's to bring forth the healed version of us, right? And so I've been allowing my triggers to do that instead of feeling triggered and running into a closet in a dark room, okay? That does not do us any good. But yeah, so shout out to whoever is on. Thank you for joining me. Tag the ladies in your life, because this message is specifically for my ladies, okay? So if you are not a lady, if you are not a woman, don't fret about it. Just tag the ladies in your life, because they need this message, okay? Shout out to those of you who have joined me. I appreciate you guys. This message is a community message. I topicked it accountability and representation, and it's because I had a trigger last week. Okay, it's because I had a trigger last week. I'm not able to see who's on, so I can't shout you out by name. If you want to hop in the comments who's joined, so I can acknowledge you and thank you for your blessings and bless you back, okay? Because every person who hops on is a blessing. Every acknowledgement is a blessing. It's God using me for you and you for me. So let me just get into it. Ooh, look at the butterfly. Let me just get into it, okay? So, like I said at the beginning of the live, I just relaunched the self-love newsletter, and instead of it being a weekly newsletter, it's now monthly. Now, the great thing about this is that I've also attached it to my members only app, right? So Ground Up now has an app. Look at that. Would you look at God? God bless you. God bless you. Would you look at that? So I have an app for Ground Up, and so it's specifically for members only. You can become a member of my Ground Up website by visiting the website, right? And becoming a member. When you become a member, you can also become a member of the Ground Up app. Both are free. Membership is free, and so is the app. On there, we can chat. You can chat with me and other members and get exclusive updates on anything and everything self-love, alignment, and Ground Up. Okay, so anything that I'm into, you into it too, and we can discuss what's going on in your world, and I can share with you what's going on in my world. So the newsletter is a portion of that. It goes out to my members only, all right? And so if you are interested in that, definitely be sure to become a member on the site. So you can become a member on the app, and you can begin getting the monthly self-love newsletter, okay? So let's get into the message, all right? quick plug before I even go into that. While you're on the website, make sure to check out Ground Up Self-Love Workbook. It is my first book, my first real book, and it's all things alignment, all things self-love. And if you are looking to get closer and draw nearer to your highest self, your God self, which also means that you're drawing near to God, then this is the book for you to do it. Okay, it's full of chakra healing, meditation, and it's a workshop included as well. So it's very practical, okay, because what good is it for you to have the knowledge if you don't have the tools to apply it? And so you get both the knowledge and the application for it, the tools for application. And so together, they are married, and it can produce and will produce a greater version, a better version of you. Okay, so that was the other plug. Now let's get into the topic. So the topic of this live is accountability and representation. And let me go ahead and dive into what even provoked me to that revelation. Okay, so as you guys know, obviously, right, I talk all things self-love and alignment. Shout out to whoever's hopped on the live. I can't see people, or like the person's name, so just know that I do see you. I just can't see your name. If you want to hop in the comments so I can really give you a shout out, I can do that for you, and you can do that. You can do that for me, and I can do that for you. So, okay, let's get into the message. The trigger. I was scrolling social media last week, and this is specifically for my ladies, okay? Hear me out. I was scrolling social media last week, and being in a new field, in a new, say, industry, right? For you guys to know my history, right? I'm a wellness coach, but I've stepped into a new realm, and this new realm is a holistic life coach, right? And so that is really the basis of Ground Up. Ground Up is my life coaching tool. It's everything that I've used and that God is giving me to ascend, to become and step into this new realm. And it's a part of my evolution. So I've taken everything that I've learned over the past decade or plus and put it into this book, okay? And I put those things on top of what God was giving me in that 7-month time span. And so my current genre is a holistic life coach. And I'm also, so we got author, holistic life coach, and speaker, right? And so I was scrolling on my social media, and lately I've obviously been looking at other speakers, authors, things of that nature, just to get more familiar with my genre. Because one thing we know, when you step into a new paradigm, when you step into a new beginning, when you step into your new chapter, your next chapter, you are an infant, right? You're an infant. You are a baby. And so you have to get familiar with your industry. You have to get familiar with, practices, more than practices. You have to get familiar with the lingo, right? You want to get settled in. And so that was one of the reasons why I was just scrolling. And I just saw how we have a lot of men. Now, men, don't take this. If you're offended, Jesus said it himself, if anyone be offended in me, woe to them. So offense in itself is already a way that we purge ourselves. We perjure ourselves, right? We trigger ourselves when we are offended. And this was me then, okay? So that's why I say, men, if you feel it, just let the trigger heal you. So I was scrolling on social media, like I said, looking underneath my genre, my new genre here that I am stepping into this new chapter of mine. And I was triggered because there are a lot of men teaching women how to be women. Whew. And I was triggered. There are so many men speaking on ways that women should be women. And so I said to myself, right? Myself said, huh? And I said, I said self, and myself said, huh? I said, how can, or why aren't, let me not say how can, because I don't feel that there's anything wrong with a man giving a woman advice about what a man would like to see, or what a man would expect. And and from a woman, right? Like, I am grateful for those type of conversations because I feel like we need more dialect like that. We need more dialogue, okay? But when it comes to, you know, how to be a woman, I felt like, and a successful woman, okay? And so success, the definition for success is different for everybody, right? And so first, if we want to be serious about this, you got to understand that you define what success is for you. Not me, not them, not anybody else, right? But how to be an efficient, let me say that, how to be efficient as a woman and the many roles that we play. And also how to be excellent, okay, as a woman, right? How to build your queendom, okay? And I said, like I said self, and myself said, huh? And I said, why aren't there more women? Why aren't there more women speaking about the efficiency and the excellency of women, right? Why aren't there more teachers? Why aren't there more women teachers for how to be a woman? Or, and I say how to be a woman, but we know how to be a woman. What I mean is how to be efficient, how to be excellent, right? How to step into your new paradigm, how to step into your highest self. And so I scrolled through some of the comments while I was on, you know, said person's page, and I realized, obviously, the market that is women. Women, if you don't know, women, us, ladies, if you do not know, we are a market. We are a market, okay? If you ever pay attention to when you go on websites, company websites, or sign up for any kind of subscription, they always ask our gender. Have you ever thought, why? Like, why is that? Well, here it is. They tailor their marketing based on our gender, okay? And so if we are telling them, hey, I'm a woman, they're going to tailor their marketing and their advertising towards women. And let's also talk about why women are the biggest consumers. So we are also the biggest consumer, right? That's why I say that we are a market. We play so many roles. We wear so many hats. There's nothing that a woman can't do except for be a man, okay? Let's just be clear. There's nothing that a woman can't do. So from, you know, birthing children to fashion, beauty, fitness, brokenness, healing, okay? Relationships, business, home decor. Like, no matter what there is in the world, more than likely, again, the many roles that a woman plays, she falls into the consumption, the consumerism of that thing, right? That category. And so that makes us the biggest consumer, okay? And then that is also why we are the market, okay? And so that was the trigger for me. It was like, okay, well, if we're the market, here's the revelation, because in every negative, there's a positive. In every curse, there's a gift, right? And in everything has a polarity. There's duality, right? And so the trigger was, we are the market. And, you know, there are so many people capitalizing, so many people, as in, you know, genre-wise, and companies and things of that nature, that are capitalizing on the fact that we are women. And then here was the revelation. We are also the business. Because if we are the market, then we are the business. Everything that we're consuming is something that we need. So if we know what we need, then why aren't we creating that thing instead of just being the consumer for that thing? Why are we spending more time purchasing than creating, being that we are the woman? And we have the ability to create. Oh, thank you, Lord God, for revelation. Sometimes you got to go through the trigger in order for you to get to the treasure, baby. Okay, because the treasure is in the trigger. And so that was my first revelation surrounding accountability and representation. So let me go back to those comments. Like I said, I was scrolling, and in my scrolling, I just tapped into some of the comments. And for the most part, the way that advertisers and marketing are able to appeal to us is through our emotional impulses. So that's the reason why women are also another reason why women are the biggest consumers, is because we are emotional buyers. We buy based on how we feel. Okay, we are impulsive. Okay, so if we feel like this, we purchase this, so on and so forth. And so a lot of the advertising and marketing plays on the victim mentality. Okay, whew, Lord Jesus. But what we need to understand is that for every victim, there's a victory. And again, so if I'm playing on your victimhood, right, and I'm selling you victory, okay, which you already have, okay, let's just be clear here. You already have the victory. You had it before you were the victim, okay, and victimhood is a mentality, okay. So if it resonates with you, then you have to understand, like, you need to shift your perspective because you already have the victory. But again, just scrolling through the comments and seeing how companies and people are able to appeal to our emotional impulses or appeal to our emotions and make us consumers, and again, how that just fortifies the market that is women. So ladies, here is my challenge to you, because me also a woman, okay, a mompreneur, an entrepreneur, right, that has turned lemon into lemonade, because again, ground up is everything lemon turned into lemonade. How can we be more accountable for the positions in our life, the positions and the roles that we take in our life, and also become a representative of that, instead of just being a consumer of the peel for it, the Band-Aid for it, okay? I'm saying this because, again, it's about the impact for me. It's not about the dollar. Ground Up itself is, I would say, a peel. Okay, it's a self-love workbook. It's a tool. It's a resource. But you have to do the healing yourself. I can provide you a resource. I can provide you a tool. I can give you the antidote. But you yourself have to apply it. You yourself have to take accountability and say, you know what? This is where I am. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to shift and change my perspective. Right? This is how I'm going to change my reality, right? I can't do that for you. And so that first is the accountability. But when we step into that accountability, instead of being a victim, Lord Jesus, we turn our poverty into profit, because again, victimhood is tied to poverty. I'll say that again. Victimhood is tied to poverty. Shout out to whoever's just hopped on the live. But when you turn that into, again, accountability, by taking full responsibility for where you are, because while I was scrolling those comments, I've seen a lot of women in there like in victim mentality. Woe is me, everything that's happening to me. It's like, well, where's our accountability? And where is the taking total responsibility for what has happened to you in your life, the decisions and actions? And I'm not saying this as if I'm higher than or greater than, because I too have to take accountability for my decisions, my actions, my choices. Okay, but we need more women doing the same thing. It's so common to get on these speakers and these, everyone that's giving advice, and it's full of ladies, it's full of women and victim mentality. And anytime you play the victim, you will always be in poverty, because you are spiritually impoverished. Okay, you have a poverty mindset. Okay, so how do we go from a poverty mindset to a prosperous mindset? The first thing would be to take accountability. So I want to share a tool, and this is also in Ground Up. So if you guys like it and you want to go more in depth with it, definitely make sure to click the link. I have the link on my page and also in my bio to purchase your book. Now, this is something that I've used for self-forgiveness, because one thing we know about accountability is that means that no one else is to blame for where we are right now in our lives. And if we can't point the finger at anyone else, then that means that it's back at us, right? And so sometimes we have a hard time forgiving ourselves for the decisions that we made and for the choices that we made, right? And so that's where we get stuck. We get stuck in that self-forgiveness. And I was going to say obviously, but sometimes we'll before we can even get to self-forgiveness, we haven't even asked those that, you know, I would say God, right? Ask God for forgiveness. The first person or the first deity, because it's God and there is no other, we should ask for forgiveness, is going to be God. But in the midst of that, we also have to make sure that we learn to forgive ourselves. And then the people that we may have hurt, or, you know, the people that are tied to that decision and that connection, we ask for their forgiveness. And because you've already forgiven yourself, you don't attach yourself to their acceptance, because they're not obligated to accept your apology. They're not obligated to give you that forgiveness. But if you've given it to yourself, then you've already poured into yourself. So it's not as if they're taking anything from you. Okay, there could be reconciliation or not, you know what I mean? Because again, you are whole, you are full of integrity, you trust yourself. Now you know that you won't do that anymore. You won't do that again, but now you can make better decisions, better choices. And so that's what I mean when I say you're in integrity and you trust yourself, because you learned your lesson. Okay, so the self-forgiveness is where we sometimes get stuck, because we forget that we need to do that. We focus more on the people around us and how they feel instead of how we feel. So we internalize that pain. We internalize that defeat victimhood. We internalize that, and we continue to play out that cycle. Now that's when we're stepping into a pattern, and that pattern becomes a curse. Okay, because that's what curses are. They're chains, they're bonds of oppression, and that mentality will continue to show up in your life. It'll start being in all your decisions. You won't trust yourself with anything, anyone. Okay, victimhood. Get me, hear me. So over the years, here's what I've used over the years, aside from asking God, first Jesus Christ, for forgiveness, which is another reason why we need Jesus, because he is forgiveness. All right. When he says your sins are forgiven, okay, you are healed. Okay. The self-forgiveness being the second part. So I have used a practice called Ho'oponopono. Now, I would spell that, you know what I'm saying, off the dome, but I really can't. I'm not even going to front with you guys. Just go ahead and Google it, Ho'oponopono, and Google will fix it for you. But it's called Ho'oponopono, and it's a Hawaiian spiritual practice. And so this is what you say. You say, I am sorry, self. Okay, so in this case, let's say, I am sorry, Latara, for not trusting my intuition and doing blah, 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 and causing pain to others and myself by going against myself and going against God. Okay, just random example. Okay, 4, that's the 4. Please forgive me for any pain inflicted upon you and for not trusting you. Okay, thank you. Thank you for forgiving me for, and I love you. Okay, so you say this to yourself. I'll say it again. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. So in this way, you are reconciling with the self. And you can say it as many times as you need to, as often as you need. God he never stops forgiving us. And we can't ever forgive ourselves enough. Because I can tell you from experience, I have had to forgive myself for the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over to the point to where it may be times where I'm like, I'm still not over that. But you are going to be your biggest project in your life. And as many times as you need. Okay, you have to learn to give you that same grace that you're so eager and easily able to give to other people. So again, as many times as you need. Say it as many times as you need. Okay, so it's called Ho'oponopono. All right, you can Google it. Okay, it's a Hawaiian spiritual practice. I am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. Now, so when you practice that, I have instantly felt the release of guilt, shame, blame, okay, distrust, and disbelief. Because let me, and I'm gonna bring you guys out of the sun a little bit because I'm obviously getting a little sweaty. Here's the thing. When you can't trust yourself, when you go against yourself and you no longer trust yourself, you don't believe in yourself. Okay? Right? It's the same relationship with God. When we feel that God has punished us for whatever reason, and we stop trusting him because we feel like, why would you do this to me? Blah, 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 blah. We stop believing in him. Okay? Your belief is attached to your trust, and your trust is attached to your integrity, and your integrity is attached to your faith. It's all one. You can't have one without the other. All right? And so the reason why you have to practice the self-forgiveness is because it's the only way that you can begin to trust yourself again. So along with that, shifting your perspective. Anything and everything that you've been through has been a part of your soul's journey. It was meant to happen to you. So you can learn that lesson, because if you hadn't have experienced that, then you wouldn't know that. Right? Okay? So ladies, this is where for us, being emotional creatures, we are more than what you know. We are more than this. We are more than the physical. We are emotional wells. I'm going to call us well of waters. Okay, a well of water. Anytime you see a woman, you need to know that's a well of water right there. And being that she is a well of water, that means that she has more depth to her. And the emotions that advertisers and marketers are buying on, okay, that they are feeding off of to make us consumers and keep us in a victimhood mentality, is really your business. It's your business. All last year, before I went into my hiatus, that was what I kept saying. Listen, man, mind your business. Mind your business. Okay? And what I meant by that is you need to tap into what you're feeling, because what you're feeling is attached to, or I'm going to use another word because I don't really like the word attached, connected to your creativity. And what's your creativity can produce is your business. But if you don't pay attention to what you're feeling, or if you don't even explore what you're feeling, because let me also say this, for every emotion, there's a cost. Okay? Some are worth pennies and others are worth millions. Okay? Not every impulse is meant to be acted upon. Okay? But we have to first get into this room of observation. If you don't inspect the emotion, if you don't observe the emotion and then allow it to flow, or to, hey, let me grab that one and let me work on that one. I could use that for creativity. I was triggered by this last week, and I wrote a whole newsletter from that trigger. And your trigger is your treasure. And your trigger is your treasure. Okay? So how can you turn that pain? How can you turn that shame, that guilt, how can you turn that into profit for you? Because we need more women representing women. Okay? We need more women helping women. We need more women supporting women. We need more women empowering women. As long as we are, again, this is not a male bashing. This is a come to Jesus. As long as we are dependent on the opposite gender to be our fulfillment, we miss the fact that we are everything we need. And we lean on men to be what we need. But you're everything that you need. You have everything that you need within. God can't build on sand. Okay? So, like, not having that solid foundation, the rock, that is Jesus, okay? God is the only person, or God is the only thing, and I'm using the word thing because he is everything, that can establish you and can establish your confidence. Okay, and this is that wholeness. Integrity, if you look up the definition for integrity, it's wholeness and undivided. That's what it means to be and have integrity. To be whole, to need nothing because you are lacking nothing. When we are in, like I said, that mentality where we're looking to the opposite sex to be and provide all our needs, we miss out on our own wholeness. So, yes. We need more women being accountable for their emotions and using them to create, to tap into their own creative well of water, okay? And to build upon that, okay? Let God use you. And that's really what the trigger revealed to me was that what I was saying and feeling was, why am I not scrolling and seeing more sisters? Why am I scrolling and not seeing the women say, hey girl? And don't get me wrong, there are women, but there's not enough of us. There aren't enough of us. Think about this. I used to see like the memes, however you say that, whatever. Like there's a shortage on men, right? You know, that's why you have men who have so many women, because there's a shortage on men. That's why you have women who are fighting over the men, because they feel like it's a shortage on men. Nobody knows how to have their own because they feel like, hey, there's not enough good men in the world. Well, okay, if you want to take that same analogy, but I don't believe that, okay. If you want to take that same analogy, or you want to take that concept and apply it to, you know, what I'm talking about now, there's a lot of us. And that means that we need more of us. Okay? That means we need more of us. Our Sunday service, I listen to, because I'm not in Dallas, I'm clearly here in Houston. TD Jakes is my guy, all right? And so this Sunday, Sarita, his wife, she shared that they were working on, I think it's called Legends and Lilies, okay? And it's an event that they're hosting for, say, debutantes, right? For women, young girls of all ages, where we can pour into and be poured into by our own gender. And she was just explaining how, you know, she's hearing more about girls, young girls who are suffering from depression and having suicidal thoughts. And a good portion of that are Black girls. And it hit your girl. I was already triggered, okay? I was already triggered from last week. And to hear that message, and to also know a young girl who I've had communication with and is also experiencing, or was experiencing, that type of feeling and emotion, it hit me, it triggered me. And so, yeah, it's like there can never be more, it can never be enough of us. It can never be enough of us speaking about how God has delivered us. It can never be enough of us who have stepped into our authenticity and our wholeness and our integrity, and who are more confident to share our stories, to be not just the consumer, but to be the creator. There can never be enough of us, because our girls need to see that it's possible. And they need to know that they don't have to look outside of themselves to receive what they have inside of themselves. And not only that, they need to know that it's not going to be contingent on how they look, because we are living in a world and in a society right now that is so visual. Everything is about what it looks like. You understand? That was one of the biggest things that I dealt with while I was fasting those 7 months, is what it looked like. Okay? I have a blog coming about that, or a post about that coming up this week. So make sure you guys are tapping into the post. But last week was Eating Disorder Awareness Week. Okay, and there are so many people, not just girls, or women, or, you know, the female sex. There are so many people who are dealing with self-worth and self-image issues, dysmorphia, because of how they view themselves based on this quote-unquote visual world. And the sad part about that is a lot of what you see today is photoshopped. A lot of what you see today is, you know, filtered. So it's not real. And so they're judging themselves based on what's a fantasy. You know, it's not real. It's fake. And so what this is doing to our communities, what this is doing to our young girls, our young boys. I have little boys. Well, they're not little anymore. Oh my God, Lord Jesus. Jordan is 16 and Jiren is 14. What this is doing to our young people. You understand? So we need more representatives. We need more representatives. Women, we have to take accountability. We got to jump out of this victim mentality, okay, this poverty mindset, okay? Ain't nobody done nothing but to us. It's about what we allow to happen, okay? And in that allowing of happening, okay, we can take responsibility. Check out the Ho'oponopono, okay? Release yourself from any low vibrational feelings, that guilt, that shame, okay, that disgust, that disbelief, because again, your disbelief in yourself is also attached to your disbelief in God. All right. I say this in the book, and I'm going to say it here. I said it last night as well. God lives in you. But let me say, I'm going to go a little bit further, okay, just in case that goes over your head. God is you, okay? God is you, okay? And once you understand that, you'll operate differently. Once you understand that, you'll notice where you might have just, you know what I'm saying, that one time where you may have settled. Okay, maybe it wasn't one time. Maybe it was twice, but I'm just saying. You're like, oh, man, I settled then. And you can take accountability for that. Because God doesn't make anything worthless. Everything that God puts his hands on, anything that God is in and connected to, it's worthy. Okay? Okay? So, again, you gotta tap into your abundant mindset. All right. If you are harping on the past, if you are living in the past, if you are focused on the past, if you are stuck there, you're missing what's happening now. And God is in the now moment. God is a present God. Okay. And in order for you to tap into that present, which is a gift. Okay. Understand. I hope y'all are catch the terminology. Okay. Read between the lines. Okay. The now moment is your present, and everything you need is right now. Okay. And so the minute you start showing more gratitude for where you are right now, God will give you more to be grateful for. He will give you more reasons to be grateful. And that is also how we shift our paradigm. That's also how we shift our reality. We start having better experiences, feeling better feelings. And it's your feelings that are producing and creating your reality. Okay, if you're stuck in the past, you're depressed. All right, and ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, you got to be more aware and more conscious of the time that you give, because quite honestly, we are stewards. Okay, nothing is guaranteed to us. Not the next second, not the next millisecond. Okay, and so you are stewarding. You are stewarding your emotions, and you are stewarding your time. All right. So when I said a moment ago that emotions, there's a cost for every emotion. Some are worth pennies while others are worth millions. Understand that as you steward those emotions, when you live too long, because no emotion is really meant to be stored. Emotions are meant to flow. That's why they are connected to our sacral, which is the flow of water. Okay. So it's energy. It's meant to flow. We shouldn't attach to it. We shouldn't fixate on it. Okay. So if you are fixating on anything low vibrational, understand that's where that victim mentality comes from. That's where that poverty mindset comes from. It's because you are fixating, you are attached to a certain emotion. All right. Now, let me also go a little bit further and say that there is no such thing as a bad emotion. I said low vibrational. So low vibrational doesn't necessarily mean bad, because all emotion is God. All right. God is an oxymoron, and so are we. Everything, you guys are going to hear me repeat that over and over and over again. Everything about the human makeup is God. Okay? We are created in his image, and likeness is what we want to get to. Okay? But we are created in his image. Okay? And so understanding that there's duality for everything. There's no such thing as a bad emotion. It's when it's low vibrational. So when you harp on those low vibrational emotions, you pull yourself down. And that's that depression. Okay. And so when we get stuck in the past, and that's typically when we're regretful about something that didn't go our way, which we think didn't go our way. And quite honestly, it went the exact way it was supposed to, because God don't play about what it's supposed to be. Okay. Move on. Move on. Stand in your present moment, stand in your now moment, and know that everything will work and has worked for your good. Okay? Romans 8:28, check out that scripture. Okay? That all things work together for good for those who love the Lord, for those who love God, for the called to whom he has called. Okay? Romans 8:28, check it out. Okay? Everything is working for your good. Everything is for your good. So be present in the now moment. Okay, let's take accountability for where we are right now. And in that accountability, let's also show up as representatives, because our girls need us, and the women in your life need you, and there can never be enough of us speaking about our stories, sharing our stories of overcoming, triumph, victory. So these young girls don't feel like they have to put it all on the table with how they look and be depressed about fantasy and illusion. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. You heard it here. Okay, accountability and representation. We need more of it, ladies. No jealousy, no envy, no spite, no none of that. Like, there, come sit at the table. I want you to come to the table only if you are ready to heal. You understand what I'm saying? God is you, and I am worthy of women and people in general who understand and know who they are, and or are ready to know and understand who they are and operate from that level. Okay, so come sit at the table. All right. I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday. I pray this word blesses you. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the live, if you are a man, just share this on your timeline, okay? Because the ladies need it. If you have women in your life, share with the women in your life. Ladies, tag your friends. Someone somewhere needs this message. Do that for me. I also mentioned Ground Up Self-Love, which is my blog. You guys can check that out. It's a website. It's not just a blog, it's a website. So you can purchase Ground Up Self-Love workbook on the website. You can also become a member of the site and receive my members only app. Okay, so Ground Up is also an app now. All right, we just launched that this past weekend along with the Self-Love monthly newsletter. So you want to make sure you check out those outlets. So go to the website. The link is in my bio. Okay, go to the website, sign up as a member. You know what I'm saying? Let's get you on the app, and you can chat with me and other members about everything. Okay, nothing is off limits, right? And also get and receive updates about anything self-love and alignment and Ground Up. So I'm excited to even put those things out there. All right, work in silence and then post it. You know what I'm saying? After it's done, only after it's done. All right, so I love you guys, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.